What is up, my nerd familia, and welcome back to another episode of Gamesymaspod, the podcast where we talk about all things board games, video games, and pop culture. On today's episode, we are going to be doing another top shelf or yard sale, where we look at board games and we decide if this game is worthy to be on your top shelf, as you can see here behind me for those that are watching, or if it belongs in a yard sale, a place that no board game wants to be. Unless you're shopping for board games, then maybe that's a spot where you can get a good board game. But yes, today we're going to be looking at Scout, a fun game from a 2 to 5 player card game. We're going to be asking the questions if it's worthy to be a top shelf or a yard sale game. We are joined here by Kelly, the jelly, the cacti right here behind me. For those that are watching as well, we have Kelly joining us. She's been joining us in a couple of these episodes. Our little cactus jelly plushie, whatever we like to call it. She's my little co-host here, and me and her are going to decide if this game is worthy to be a top shelf game or a yard sale game. So, with all that being said, guys, pull up a chair, grab some dice, y acompáñeme a jugar. All right, guys, we're looking at Scout today, a card game. This is our first card game that we're looking at into a top shelf or yard sale game here. And I'm very excited to talk to you guys about it. I love playing this game. It's a quick, simple game. We won't dive deep into the game as we usually do with these segments. We'll stay tuned for the future. We'll post another video where we explain more of the rules. We did one with Dinosaur Island. If you guys have been listening, check out that episode. If you haven't yet, we dove into the game and also decided if it was a top shelf or a yard sale game. And go check it out, see what our result was for that game. But we also did a tutorial, how to play through game, our first ever that we've ever done. And so very excited about that. Bear in mind, again, I was nervous doing that first video, so I might have missed a lot of rules. In fact, I did miss a lot of rules. When I was looking back at the rules, I'm like, oh, snap, I forgot to tell them about this and that. And so, again, it's first time, so we'll get better as we go. Today, we're going to be looking at Scout, deciding if it's a top shelf or a yard sale game here. Before we get into any of that, guys, you can we are on all socials. If you guys want to contact us, we've been posting a lot, especially on TikTok, getting a lot of engagement with you guys, and very excited to talk to you guys and share stories with you guys, play test any games that you guys have any play tested. But yes, we are on all socials. We are on X, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, YouTube. You can find us there on Gamesymaspod. That is at Gamesymaspod. Find us there. Give us a follow, guys. We're trying to get our numbers up on our follow. And then if you're watching on YouTube, guys, give us a subscribe. Hit that like button on our videos. Subscribe to us. We are at 86 subscribers. I'm trying to get us to 100. I know 100 is not like a small number, but man, 100 people that are subscribed to our channel, it means a lot to me. So if we can get us to 100 guys, maybe do a giveaway. I don't know. We'll see about that. But we're almost there. We're at 86. Let us get to 100, and we'll move from there. But for those of you that have already subscribed, have already followed us on Instagram, on TikTok, anywhere that you can find us on socials, thank you guys so much for following us, engaging with us, talking with us. We're very excited about that. Very excited that you guys are enjoying our content and stuff. I mean, we're just a humble podcast here that's trying to just do our thing here and just share our love for board games and video games and a splash of pop culture. And so with all that introduction being said, go ahead, give us a follow, give us a like. Don't forget to share, subscribe on Spotify if you're listening to my Spotify crowd, or Apple Podcast crowd, or anywhere that you're listening to. Welcome. Thank you again so much for listening. And we'll go ahead and dive into this game here of Scout. So, we'll give a little bit of an overview of the game, and then we'll dive into the questions here. Not much to go over. It's a simple game, simple card game you can play. But the instruction rules is just pretty much just this little sheet here, as you can see, front and back side of how to explain the game. And the premise of the game is that you have been tasked and in charge of this new circus that you have acquired, and you're trying to gather the best crew for your circus to become the best showman, the greatest showman. Who are my greatest showman fans out there? Yes, we are in charge of the circus now, and we're tasked on building the best crew that we can for putting on the best show and getting the most points out of everyone here. It plays from 2 to 5 players, ranging from about 20 minutes to maybe 45 minutes, depending how quickly everyone picks up the game. We use cards here that are both numbered here, as you can see. They both have two-sided numbers, and the way the game plays simply is you're playing tricks, as you can see, like playing the higher tricks. And what I mean by that is you get your cards and you look at your cards and you cannot rearrange them. That's the kind of the gimmick about the game is you cannot rearrange the cards. You cannot switch them around, reorder them. It's whatever you have in your hand. That's why there's two numbers. You can flip each side of the when you get your hand. For instance, it might be a little hard to show here, but if you have a hand here like this, you can't really like rearrange the cards that you want. You can only just flip them around, and then you can have this card, these side card numbers, or you decide which card numbers you want. And you're building tricks by placing single cards, pairs, small straights, big straights, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, and you're trying to beat the competition. And it's kind of like Uno, where you're trying to get rid of all your cards first. If you get rid of all your cards first, you get points. Everyone scores points as well, but if you have cards left in your hand, you get minus points for those. And so you play once. And the way the game plays is everyone has a turn. Everyone goes first at least once. Once everyone's gone first, the game ends. You count all your points. And you see the winner. And that's pretty much it on how you play the game. And the way you score is if you beat someone else's hand, you take those cards. Those count for your points. You lose points if you have cards in your hand, as I said before. And then you just add up the points for each round. And again, the higher points wins. And that's pretty much it for Scout. That's how you're playing. That's how you're doing. You play 2 to 5 players. A quick, simple game. Probably be a quick, simple podcast episode here explaining the game. A fun game, a quick little game I like to introduce to people that are just into like maybe just playing card games, maybe that don't want to dive deeper into games, or we're short on time when we're hanging out. And I'm like, yeah, let's just play a quick game of Scout. Shout out to Danny Stranding. Sorry if I messed up your name. You introduced me to this game for one of your Instagram posts. Go give her a follow. I'll leave a link below. She's awesome. She's like the board game queen of introducing games. I love following her content. Along with Gnarly Carly, she's pretty cool, and other people that I follow on board games. Sorry if I missed you guys, but Danny, you're the one that introduced me to Scout from one of your videos, and I was like, I got to try this game out, and I tried it out, and now we're here doing a top shelf or yard sale game. So that's a little bit of an overview. Stay tuned for a future video where we will be doing a diver deep into how to play the game. Again, it'll probably be even a shorter game too because it's not that long to teach, which again will factor into our questions that we'll ask. And speaking of questions, let's dive into these questions and see if this is a top shelf or a yard sale game here. So again, another recap here for those that are following along that are for first timers here. We've developed 8 questions that we are going to ask if this is a top shelf game. In order to be a top shelf game, it has to meet 6 out of the 8 questions. We wrote these questions down in the eyes of a new player. So we're not trying to be biased because, again, if I were to ask these questions based on my opinion, I'd say that all my games are top shelves. But we're looking at it as a first-timer, someone that you might see this game on a shelf at a game store or your local board game store or anywhere on Amazon, and maybe see this and are curious about it, but don't know anything about it or don't know what's going on with this game. Is it too complicated to learn, even for a card game? Because there are some complicated card games out there. So we did that with the eyes of this is your first time ever playing this game, and we'll answer these questions with an open mind of that as well. And so as much as sometimes I hate giving no certain answers, questions, we have to be kind of fair with that. So let's dive into it here for the first question of the 8. Is this game easy to pick up and learn? Yes, it is a very, we'll go yes, solid yes here. This game is really easy to pick up and learn. You just got to set it up, play with the cards, explain kind of the rules of how each hand order, what takes precedence of ranking of cards. Obviously, if you place a 1 and you play and your opponent places a 2, they obviously beat their hand, so higher numerical order. But then you can get into pairs. A pair of 2 always is going to beat a pair of 1s, and so forth as well. Where it will get kind of a little bit tricky is if you have like a 4-5, and someone plays a pair of 2s. The pairs always beat numerical numbers, and so you kind of have to like remember that. As well as if you're going higher, like if you have a 1, 2, 3, and I have a pair, and I have a 4 of a kind, or three of a kind. Sorry. So if I have 3 3s or 3 1s, that is always going to beat a 1, 2, 3 or higher numerical. So 3 of a kinds, 4 of a kinds, 5 of a kinds always beat numericals, but numericals always beat higher numerical number cards. But that's pretty much how you do it, and then kind of explain how you can't rearrange your cards. It kind of self-explanatory. You can't move around cards. You kind of have to play what you can, and then you pick up the strategy as you keep going of, if I play this card, I'll condense my cards to make even a bigger combo for next round, or you can wait to draw a card to build a bigger combo. That way no one can beat it, because the point of the game is you're trying to build a combo that no one can beat. That way it can come back around to you, and then if no one beats it, you win that round and you get all the points, and everyone else is out of luck with all these cards in your hand, and you have to minus points for that. So Yes, this game is easy to pick up and learn. Second question: does this game have good game components? It's pretty simple when it comes to card games, so I'm gonna go no with this one. It doesn't have great game components. It has the cards are pretty cool, but you just kind of have your standard just tokens and your stars and your point systems. The little scout and show car tokens that you get are pretty kind of little like little cars, little like carnival cards, I guess, or you can say, or like back in time when circuses were big, I guess. So it's not something to be wowed about. It's just kind of your basic ones, your card. The design, we can get into the design for the next question, but good game components. I'm gonna go with no on this one. So no good game components on that one. Which brings us to the next question: does this game have good game design? The design is really cool, especially with the cards. The color schemes of the cards are really awesome. How you have them there. And the way the names and your cards are your crew. So you can see on there on the cards they have names on them. For this one, this 1 in 4 card that I'm holding here has the name Brian. So you can have him be I think a clown and a juggler, depending on what number you choose. If you choose the 1, he's a clown. If you choose the 4, he's a juggler. And so it kind of dives you a little bit into the story. Honestly, though, the story of how the premise of the game doesn't play a big factor. No one really. When I've played it a couple of times and I explain the story, that kind of goes out the window as soon as you start playing because you kind of just are based on playing cards, which we'll get into about the lore there question. But does it have good game design? It's really cool, but it's not something wow to be about. So I'm going to go with no on good game design here. So no on good game design. Again, trying to go through the eyes of a first timer. And as well, if you guys disagree, let me know in the comments. We can, again, I'm always open to changing the questions and always open to discussion of these questions. If you disagree or agree, let me know. Next question here is, does this game have good replayability? Yes, it does. I think it's unfair when it comes to card games because the card games you have like infinite amount of like ways to play this game. Not infinite, but like a huge number of ways to play it and replayability. Each time you play with your cards, it'll be different. So the replayability, I want to say yes. It's like a really minimal yes on this one because, again, the cards, but the mechanic is the same thing. You're playing cards, playing tricks. Just the way you get different types of combos and different ways of how you can strategize will be different every time you play each round. But again, the mechanics kind of still the same. Score points, get the most points. But since being that it's a card game, it kind of gets like for me personally, it gets the automatic yes because it's different each time you're playing. And so we'll go with yes on this one. Again, if you disagree, let me know. But again, for those of you that are first timers for the card games, playing card games, you can always play multiple times and it'll be different which cards. Unless you're really bad at shuffling, which that's the number one complaint whenever I play these games. Is like, who shuffled this? And everyone's like, hey, I mean, I shuffled the best that I can. And so, but we'll go with yes with good replayability. Does this game have good setup time? Just like how we did with Dinosaur Island, I timed myself, as you will see from the clip here, of setting up this game for a 5-player game. I went full max count, 5-player game, setting up the game. I did it from opening up the box the first time, reading the rules, reading the setup time again, as if I'm first time ever playing, trying to see how to set it up. Distributing the cards, we came up. The result was about the setup time is about 3 minutes and like 30 seconds, maybe like less, maybe like shave off like 10 seconds, because I messed up the shuffle, so I'd reshuffle again. So a little bit less time there. But yeah, so about 3 minutes of setup time, which is amazing. That's super quick. So yes, this game does have a good setup time. You're just setting up the tokens, as you can see on the video of us setting up, or here. We have these little trays, courtesy of Knox Brew. My boy Eric 3D printed these cool little trays that I can place tokens in whenever I play board games. Really awesome. So thanks, Eric. Shout out to you for those awesome, cool little trays that I was able to place them in and kind of make the game a little bit neater. But yes, this game does have good setup time. Is this game decently priced, or will it break your wallet? It is decently priced, very decently priced. When we say decently priced, again, to reiterate, I'm basing the decently priced range of a good game anywhere between $30 to $70. 70 is kind of pushing a little bit, but between that price range is a really decently priced. Anything less than that, it's amazing. Yes, it's great. Anything above that, you might want to rethink about buying the game. maybe save up for it, or maybe just go to your local board game and try it out. See if you really want to buy it, or if you have a friend that has the game, try it out. Doing some research on the game, looking it up real quick. With Scout on Amazon, it is $18. That is great. That is amazing. That is less than our even decently priced range. So $18 you can get on Amazon. If you're interested in the game, after all this, after everything's said and done, you want to buy it, I'll leave a link below as well so you can get the game. Just click on that link, buy the game, let us know. Send us pictures, send us videos of you playing the game, having fun. But yes, $18, you can't beat that. That's awesome. So yes, this game is decently priced. Next question here: does it have good game lore? As I alluded to earlier in the game, early in the podcast, in the episode, how this game it kind of gives you a little bit of a background of why we're playing this game. You've taken the role of the circus, and you're trying to build the best combos with your crew. Maybe steal other crew members from other players by beating their hands. But other than that, that's pretty much it. As you play the game, that kind of goes out the window. When I first was introduced to this game with Danny, and then live play with my friend Christian, he kind of just explained how to play the game, and we just kept playing. And then in the middle of the game, he was like, "Oh yeah, the storyline is the circus." It didn't really affect our gameplay as well. We just kept playing. So I'm gonna go with no on this one. It does not have good game lore. It doesn't immerse you into that world as much, because you just kind of forget by like the third round. You're just playing cards, trying to figure out how to be better strategy-wise on playing that game. And so I'm going to go with no on this one. This does not have good game lore. And so we're on our last question here is, does this game have good pacing, good turn time gameplay? Yes, it does have good pacing, good turn time. Because you just play cards and you just keep going. You just go fast. It goes pretty quickly because you're just playing cards. You're moving forward. Maybe you have to think about a little bit of what card you want to place down, what we want to do, but it is really good. It's not a game where you're kind of waiting on an opponent. I mean, if your opponent's taking forever on a card game to decide which cards to play, then you might have to speed. You're warranted. You're allowed to speed them up. You're allowed to yell at them "Hey, hurry up!" But if it's a minute and you're thinking, okay, give them some time. But if it's 10 minutes and they still haven't played, you gotta hurry up, man. You just gotta go for it, because we got time for this. We gotta go through a couple rounds, especially if you're playing with 5 players. So it has a good turn, good time, good turn and game pacing. So yes, I'm gonna go with yes with that one. Because it keeps you on your toes. You gotta keep playing. You gotta keep going. So with that being said, though, that is all 8 questions. We flew through by these questions pretty quickly, because again, it's a small game. It's not something to dive into, but I wanted to share with you guys Scout, because again, I love playing it and it's fun, quick little game. So I thought I'd share a quick little episode with you guys about this one. But with that being said, we have scored 1, 2, 3, 4. We scored 5 out of the 8 questions, guys. We did not meet the 6 or more question above, meaning that this game, unfortunately, is a yard sale game. Yes, a very close one too. Again, not saying you shouldn't go try it out. Go try it out. It's a very fun game to play, but would be one of those games where you play it for a while and then no one. You don't really have people to play as much anymore with it, and it becomes a yard sale game, unfortunately. But again, I still love it. It belongs on my top shelf for sure. If you disagree, let me know in the comments below. But be nice about it, please. As we are going through more of these board games and deciding if it's a yard sale board or a top shelf or a yard sale game. So there you have it, folks. 5 out of the 8. It's close, but yes, it's a yard sale game here. But again, let me know of your experience playing this game. It's a fun card game, quick and easy to pick up. Go try it out for yourselves at your local board game store. You can find it on Amazon, again, with the link. Click that link below. And so, we'll wrap it up here, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this short episode, hopefully. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you again so much for watching. Stay tuned for the future episode video where we explain the game more, the rules, and how to play. Maybe even throw a little bit some strategies you can out your way so you can beat your opponents next time you play this game. But let me know, guys, if there's a board game you want me to review. Again, you can find us on all socials. We're on X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You can also email us at Gamesymaspod. That's at Gamesymaspod@gmail.com. Send us an email. Let us know any questions. Again, any questions you send, we will be posting it on our next episode. I keep forgetting we have a couple questions I got to answer, and it always blows my mind. It always slips in my mind, of answering these questions for you guys. But we'll get those questions in for the next episode for sure. I just gotta print them out, and usually Lydia is the one that reads them off for us, but it's just me today. So Kelly, thank you so much for joining us. She enjoys this game. She loves playing Scout. She thinks it's a top shelf game. But Kelly, thank you again. And guys, nos vemos para la próxima.